Hi everyone, this is Joy for Honeybee Stamps. I have a fun scene card for you today, and if you were an 80s kid, you might get where my inspiration is coming from, and I will share a little bit about that later. So this card has a ton of dimension, and I'm getting the dimension from all of the clouds that I will have on this card. So I'm using the Cloud Borders Honey Cuts, and I'm just going to line this up on some white cardstock because I will be doing some ink blending for all of the clouds. You could also just use a colored cardstock if you wanted to keep this card a little bit simpler, if you don't love ink blending. But I really like ink blending, and I am going to have 3 colors of ink that we're going to be using on the clouds. So that's where my design is going. So I'm going to tape these in place and run these through my die cut machine, and I will trim off the excess from the bottom of that cloud at the bottom. So now you can see here's all of the clouds, how they're going to kind of stack on top of each other, and they look so pretty, even white, but they're going to look more beautiful when we ink them up. Now I also need a moon. So I am using the double stitch circles die. I'm using the second smallest one. I'm going to die cut that from white cardstock. Then I'm going to take that out and slide the die over because I want a crescent moon. And then I'm just going to tape that in place and run that through the die cut machine. Now I do like this because it has stitching around the edge. The same thing with the cloud borders. That has some stitching as well, which I think is really pretty. Now we're going to do some Copic coloring. So I've got some images that I have on some white cardstock in my Misty. The cute little bear is from the Sandie and Sis stamp set. There's a coordinating die with that, which I will use. And the hearts are from the Honey Bunnies stamp set. And those also have a coordinating die. So now I have my inspiration is from the cute little Care Bears. I was definitely an 80s kid and everybody had one, and mine was Bedtime Bear, which was the cute little blue bear with a moon. And so I just felt like I just needed to do that on this card, and that is my inspiration. And it's so funny because I am the person who likes to go to bed early, and I've always been that way. Even when I was a little kid, I was the first girl to fall asleep at the sleepovers and the first one to wake up. So it was super boring in the morning, but thankfully, my friends were so sweet and loved me enough that they didn't mess with me while I was falling asleep early. So the Bedtime Bear is blue, and so the blue that I'm using for this is B04, 16, and 37 for this cute bear. And I'm going to use a few other blues for the hearts. I actually stamped more hearts than I'm going to need to use, but I did BG09, 45, and 49, and then BG10, 11, and 13 for the hearts. Again, those hearts are from the Honey Bunnies stamp set, and this cute bear is from the Sandie and Sis stamp set. So I'm going to finish coloring up this cute little bear, and then I'm going to add some color to these hearts. Like I said, I ended up stamping more than I thought I was going to use, but I tend to do that. I would rather have more than not enough because it kind of drives me nutty to have to come back and restamp and recolor once I'm kind of past that part of the card making process. So I would rather do more than less. So I'm going to use the coordinating dies to cut them out, and then that's going to be finished. Okay, so I'm going to do some inking up on the moon, and I'm using squeezed lemonade, and then I decided to use some scattered straw. I will tell you there's no point in doing that because I ended up kind of changing the design a little bit later, and you don't even see that. You just need a yellow moon for the background. Then for the clouds, I'm going to be doing the same inking for all of these clouds here, and this is on the cloud borders. I am using Chipped Sapphire, Blueprint Sketch, and Mermaid Lagoon. Mermaid Lagoon is at the top, Blueprint Sketch is in the center, and then at the bottom is the Chipped Sapphire. That is the darkest, and so that's what I'm going to do for all of these clouds. Then we're going to pop in some lighter clouds with a different die, and we're going to keep that a little bit lighter for the design. So now that I'm done with that, I put those in a box because I want to spray them with the Distressed Oxide Spray Salvaged Patina. And I also want to come in and use the Distress Stain in Picket Fence. And I'm just using the actual straw, I'm going to call it the straw, the spray part, and just tap that and get little white dots all over the background. I'm going to put that aside to dry. And then here are these tiny little clouds. These are the Wispy clouds. And I'm just inking this up, like I said, lighter. I am using Salvaged Patina for the lightest color, and then I'm going to come in with Mermaid Lagoon at the bottom for the darker color. I'm also going to spray that with the Salvaged Patina Distress Oxide Spray and also use the Spray Stain in Picket Fence. So I want to have similar stuff going on as far as that goes. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to add some details to the bear and the hearts, which I usually do at the end of my card making process, but stuff needed to dry. So I added some black glaze pen to his eyes, some white dots to his cheeks, and then once the black glaze pen had dried, some white dots to his eyes. I'm adding some highlight spots to the hearts and tucked a little heart in underneath his arms. Now here's where I changed the design on my moon. I am using the Stickles glitter gel in Nebula, and I'm just going to spread that onto my cute little moon here. It has glitter and then gold stars, which I think is darling. Now you can see that background piece there. I inked that up with just chipped sapphire and added just some white dots onto that. I wanted that to look different than the clouds. Then I die cut from the Happy Birthday die. So this has the thin piece here that I'm gluing together. I die cut this twice from Gold Mirror cardstock. I'm gluing that together for dimension. And then I've got the second piece, which is the shadow behind, and that is just from white cardstock. And I thought that would stand out nicely with all of the blue. There is tons of blue on this card. So this pops of white and gold and yellow really makes a huge difference in this card design. That's another reason why it was good to have lighter clouds, because the other clouds are so dark. So I'm just going to glue that together using my tweezers and liquid glue, holding it in place. And isn't it so pretty? I just think that font, that script is so, so pretty. Now I added some foam adhesive behind that first back layer of clouds. Then I have a double layer of foam tape on that middle part, and then on this front part, that's kind of glued directly to that middle part of clouds, if that makes sense. I do have to have a double layer of foam tape on the white background just so the bottom part doesn't dip down. I will trim off all the excess around the edges. Then I'm going to come in with my moon, which has a little piece of foam tape at the top, and I'm just going to tuck it in there in the clouds, and I just think it is so cute. And then all of these lighter color clouds that we did, these are the wispy clouds. I'm just going to tuck those in all the way around this card design, and I really think it makes a huge difference in lighting, giving everything a lighter look. I am going to trim off anything that's hanging over the edge, except for the moon. I do want that to stay up high, not trimmed off. I'm going to add some foam adhesive behind the birthday sentiment die. I'm going to adhere that towards the bottom. Then I'm going to tuck in that cute little bear, my little sleepy time bedtime bear. Tuck him in, and isn't he darling? And then a few of these hearts. Like I said, I didn't use all of those, but I am going to tuck in a few in the clouds, which I think is really, really cute. Just using my tweezers and liquid glue for that. Then I'm going to stamp my other sentiment, and this is from the Inside Birthdays, and I really just need the word happy, and I inked that up with the salvaged patina Distress Oxide ink, and I'm just going to trim that out. All I need is the word happy because I already have the birthday die. So I'm just going to trim that down, and I'm just going to use my tweezers, and I couldn't quite at first figure out where I wanted it to be placed, and then as soon as I found it, it just kind of tucked in nicely, and it was perfect. So I'm just going to use some liquid glue to adhere that down, right tucked in above the birthday and kind of by the bear. Then I needed one more heart. I felt like one more heart needed to happen, and so that's going to happen on that bottom cloud there. And then I just felt like we needed some more of the gold stars and glitter. So I'm just taking the tiniest bit of the Nebula Stickles glitter gel. I swear that's a tongue twister. And just putting that on some of the clouds all the way around the card design. But definitely making sure I get some of those stars because I just think that gold is really pretty. Then I have that adhered to a white A2 size card base, and then this card is finished. And look at all that dimension, all of that glitter, and I just think this turned out so cute, and it was so fun to do something from the 80s. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this project, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.